Hey guys, Martin here, bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we're going to talk about the Heroes Reveal premiere that's going to be coming up on YouTube. It is at 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning UK time, so it's just going to be evening if you are in various parts of the US, potentially late afternoon even all the way back for if you're in Pacific time. I think it's what, like 6 p.m, something like that. So pretty reasonable time if you're in the US. Us UK and EU boys, 2/3 a.m. Very much looking forward to this. Obviously, they announced it on Twitter the other day. I mentioned it in a video where we talked about the Slug Celebration info, and then this tweet. They have put out the updated tweet now that actually has the link. So if you go to the JP Twitter account and click on this tweet, the one that Proton has retweeted, it has the link to the actual premiere. You can bring it up now. It says it's live in like 39 hours or something when I opened it up just now before recording, but it will tell you the time that it starts in your local time, just so you can be 100% sure. So we were hoping to know what sort of stuff they were going to release. A good judge of that would be once they post this link and it goes up on YouTube. I mentioned this in the previous video. People are able to check some of the back end like things and see how long the video is. So obviously Proton here has retweeted the link, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. So the video is almost 10 minutes long, which means considering what we could expect or what we would be thinking that we'd be getting for Heroes, if the video is going to be this long, more than likely we are going to see all of the characters and potentially all of the kits and animations as well. Now, they may show only a couple of the units kits, right? Like when they showed on the live stream last year, they showed like Vegito and Rose. I don't think they actually showed their kits, but then later on they tweeted just images of like the other characters on the banner. This could be something like that, where we see images of all the cards, but they don't give us all of the card details. Now, 9 minutes and 29 seconds is a decent amount of time, but remember that this year the banner has all new units in theory, because every single unit that's available from Dragon Ball Heroes right now, summonable at least, has a TUR awakening, right? And the banner format, as we'll see, we're going to take a look at the last year banner here in a minute. The banner format is always that there are the new characters, and then usually two, sometimes more in previous years, characters who are getting TUR awakenings, and those are the featured units on the banner. Whereas obviously there are no units to awaken this time, so every unit is going to be brand new, and the banners are normally 7 minutes, so you know, a little bit of an intro, minute per character maybe, we could see the full info. However, there's probably, or at least hopefully, going to be some really interesting stuff talked about in this video, because if we jump over to a tweet from our boy Rick, who looks into a lot of the back-end stuff, both in the game and on YouTube and stuff like that, as far as I know. We have some information here. We were waiting for the celebration info for JP to see whether we were having another scenario where sales were ending at a different time on Global and JP, because it seemed like the sales were ending quite early on Global, with these Lord Slug sales ending on the 10th, which means that his sales were barely even on for 2 weeks. But you can now see we have this thread here from Rick. Regarding the sales ending on the 10th, apparently the Super Dragon Ball Heroes mode in Super Divers opens on November the 11th, so it makes sense if the Dokkan collab is on the same day this year instead of the usual time slot. So obviously Super Divers is the arcade machine that is taking over from Heroes. It's why Heroes is essentially stopping production of like new stuff, which is what, you know, has everyone concerned that there's not going to be collabs with Dokkan anymore. But that goes live. There is a mode in the game where you can take your old like physical Heroes cards to one of the divers machines and use them on there, right? And so that comes out on November the 11th. So yeah, I can see the logic, like it makes a lot of sense. If that's when that's going to come out, then that's when they're going to drop this the actual Hero Celebration, because obviously if you're in Japan, like the arcade mode comes out, you could go to the arcade and play it that day, and then obviously on the same day they're also dropping the mode and the Dokkan celebration. So that could be very interesting. Now, there's a second post here. I keep bringing this up, but they told us we're getting a new skill this month. I don't think they would put that in the November slot if they were just going to add it to an app update without implementing it on a character until the 10th anniversary. So you can see here, start of November, it says in development for the 10th anniversary on the roadmap. New skill added, character details, etc. So like character details 1 is obviously something we got in the previous update, where you can see stuff in the actual new like menu. where like the passive displays differently and stuff like that. There's going to be a further update, which will be something, who knows, right, for displaying the character info in a different way. But then it's, yeah, new skill added, and it's in the November slot. And obviously here we have Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover campaign. Now, something that somebody did point out to me on a stream, which honestly at first, because I wasn't expecting major changes to anything Heroes related, I kind of wrote it off as being like, no, I'm sure it's just like a visual, like they've just put it on there, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. However, you can see you've got here like the quest story Frieza Dokkan Awakening is halfway across November and December, which means we would assume it's going to come out like at the end of November into the beginning of December, like sometime around the end of November. But the Heroes campaign, like the thing takes up the entire month. Now, obviously, you can look at the other slots, right? And it's like the Greatest Warrior, Bardock Awakening. Obviously, those aren't things that took up an entire month. They were just singular events that came out on like one day. But this does take up the entire thing. And then Divine Dragon Carnival in December. I mean, that is going to take up a decent amount of the month, that banner, until we get to like the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest. So the way we're kind of leaning towards the thinking here with the way the roadmap is displayed, they're not going to add a new skill in November without giving it to a character. And Lord Slug came out just before the end of October, so it didn't come out in November. He doesn't have any kind of new skill or new mechanic. And so, yeah, the third tweet here says, this doesn't appear to be a normal dead November. In my opinion, I think we could see a new mechanic either for Dragon Ball Heroes itself or a surprise release in the usual Dragon Ball Heroes time slot. So Heroes could come out early and then some other thing could come out when Heroes is normally supposed to be, and that has the new skill. Whether that's like a new LR or like people have been joking about like full Super Saiyan Goku LR, something like that. But yeah, it could be almost anything at this point, but a improved and extended Heroes celebration is definitely something that I could get behind as one of the big Heroes fans. So if we switch over to the wiki view here and take a look at the banner, right, this is the banner from last year. We have 7 units, 5 were new, 2 were awakenings from a previous year, but they all got awakenings. So obviously, like I said, there are no summonable Heroes TURs at the moment that don't have awakenings. So there is no, like, you know, there can't be 5 new characters and then 2 old ones, because there are no old characters that need to get awakenings now. So 7 brand new characters, obviously very, very interesting to think about who those are going to be. But if we're getting a longer form celebration, like we can look at the timeline for last year. I think last year and the year before, we had a Dokkan Fest come out at the end of October, which we have now with Slug. Then there's some other bits and pieces here, not really a huge amount of content, like a couple of Easy A's. And then Heroes started on the 22nd. So if Heroes is starting this year, starting early on the 11th, we've got almost the entire month of November to go. And then if we follow on from the same timing again, like the Dokkan Fest at the end of November, which was Android 21 last year, came out on the 30th. Which means if nothing else is going to fill the spot where Heroes originally was, it means the Heroes celebration runs from the 11th of November, if it does indeed start then, all the way until the end of the month. But like right up to the 30th, essentially, when the other Dokkan Fest is going to come out. So that is a huge amount of time for the celebration, and that implies like a couple of things, right? First of all, it implies that we're probably going to get a bit more content than we're used to, right? Because before with the hero stages, we've gotten like a Super Battle Road stage. A Super Battle Road. We've actually never gotten a Super Battle Road stage for Heroes, which is interesting. Considering there are enough free-to-play units, technically, for you to make a full Heroes team. So even for someone who's never summoned on the banner, as long as you farmed up the free-to-play units, you actually could still do the stage. Probably quite hard, even with the items, to be fair, just using the free-to-play characters. But they've never added a Super Battle Road stage. They added a Red Zone, but those have only had like 3 stages previously when they've added those in, which is a little bit disappointing. They've never done the thing where like completing the whole Red Zone gives you a support memory as a reward that's like a permanent buff for the category. Something like that would be really, really good for Heroes, having a permanent support memory buff. But it implies that maybe we are not only going to get stuff like that, but we're going to get some of the other type things that we've seen from these celebrations, like, of course, Supreme Magnificent Battle, aka the Blue Zone, is a thing now. So having an event where we fight against the super type heroes characters. You know, I mean, Burst Mode is gone now, so that's not a thing, but... not Burst Mode, sorry. I got thrown off by Petan Battle on the screen and then said Burst Mode instead of Chain Battle. Burst Mode is definitely a thing we could see. I think we had one last time for the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s. So there could be a lot of stuff that they put in where maybe, unlike previous celebrations where we've just gotten 3 Red Zone stages and they all come out at the same time, maybe we get a Heroes Red Zone 2, because I think they just added stages to the previous one the last time. Heroes Red Zone 2 with a couple of stages, and then later on in the month they add more stages, and then same with the Blue Zone. Maybe we are finally going to get a Heroes Super Battle Road stage. That would be great. And then, of course, the big thing that people are leaning towards now is if a new mechanic is being added and the celebration is potentially going to go on for a lot longer than it has previously, are we finally going to get a Heroes LR? Is there going to be like a Part 2 LR banner for the Hero celebration, which then drops around the time that the normal banners would have dropped? And I mean, I made a video the other day talking about, like, who do you guys want to see for the Heroes collab, and I went through this in a video, but there are a bunch of units on here that people want to see. This is a good example of some of the top picks that people really want to see that would be really, really good as a choice for a Heroes LR, like the triple generation Kamehameha with the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, UI Goku and Future Gohan, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Gogeta, there's the Super Saiyan Blue Universe Tree Absorbed Goku. Now there's a couple of options here for Heroes. There's one that quite a few people mentioned it in the thread. Yeah, there we go. It's hard to get the images up right on this view, but yeah, like the Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku and the Super Saiyan Blue like main timeline Goku, having them together in the same card would be awesome. That would be a great choice for an LR. I think I mentioned this in that previous video, but like this is the kind of character that releasing as a card in Dokkan would be really cool, because it's kind of like the epitome of what Heroes is, right? Having these two timelines together and being able to have the two Gokus like in the same place at the same time, so them both being on like the same card would obviously be very, very cool. So there's quite a few different options available. I don't know, it's one of those things every year we talk about, like, wouldn't it be super cool if Heroes finally got an LR, which it would, but every year it hasn't happened. There is the possibility, sad though it is to think about, that this is the last Hero celebration, and maybe that is why they are actually going to go like all out with this year and give us an LR, give us a unit that has a new mechanic, like all this other crazy stuff going on. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Either way, we are going to see on early Monday morning for me, late Sunday evening for some of you guys, this video, 9.5 minutes of Heroes information. And there could be some very, very interesting stuff in store for us in that video. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are we going to get an extended Heroes celebration with a Part 2 LR and a ton more content? Is Heroes just going to drop early and then something else is going to come after it instead? Who really knows at this point? Obviously, with the games being synced, it's not like Global has any foresight. And of course, for Heroes, it was the same time celebration on both versions anyway. So this time frame is all really up in the air at the moment as to what is going to happen. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Obviously for me, I'm hoping for a big blowout Heroes celebration. Should be very interesting, and I cannot wait to see the premiere, which I'll probably be live reacting to it, so hopefully I will see you guys there. But that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ninja. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.